Okay, we continue. Likutey Moharan, Torah Aleph, the second chelik, and we have established that when somebody is achieving prayer on such a high level, which is Bechinas Dvar Hashem, that he becomes the source of all the shefa, of all the bounty that goes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu all the way down through the malachim, through the angels, and through the galgalim, and through the kechavim, all the way down, and it gives it being that's a source of all the power, of all the medicinal plants or whatever to heal. Once they are sovereign, they sense the entire Bria has an amazing capacity to discern things, and it discerns that there is a Dvar Hashem. Shkoyach, thank you so much. The Dvar Hashem, that's their source. And that person who has that tefillah shu b'chinas Dvar Hashem is their source. So they give their koyach back to that tzaddik, to the tefillah of that tzaddik, and Mimela, their efficacy to heal all elements gets released, and it's being given and is being utilized. It's able to be utilized through everything. I mean, bread and water and Coca-Cola Zero and popcorn. So they said that's why Moshiach is called, because he is the one that holds that feel on the highest level. Because it's called Moshiach. Why? Because he derives the koyach from siach hasoda, the plants of the field. Now, all the smells of all the field that come in the tefillah, which is a b'chinas choitem. The smells, denote the nose. That Teilati Chatomach is the glory of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the fact that he meliorates the dinim, the verdicts, in time of anger, berachamim. And Mashiach accepts it, Ruach Hapeinu Mashiach Hashem. Mashiach is synonymous with the Ruach, the Reach. The Gemara says, the stuff Yomi. Sanhedrin, Tzadik Gimel, Tzadik Dalet. Anyhow, so he says that Ruach Hapeinu Mashiach Hashem, that Mashiach will be Mereach Vadoim. Mashiach will be able to judge not just according to what people tell him, and not just according to what people show him. That's nice. But also, he will have that sense of smell. I mean, in other words, he will know for sure. We said that the smell is, by the way, this shiur tonight is, should have a refuah shleima. So, what's your full name? Ben? The mother. Fegi. Abraham ben Fegi, Hashem, and Moshe ben Chaya, and Kol Chayil Hashem. everybody will be regain his koiches, will be healthy and wealthy and strong, and long life. So the only thing is that Mashiach Tzidkenu will put in the real das in the world. Everybody will know, everybody will feel the importance of tefillah. They will realize that anything that you need, you can get through tefillah. All you need to do is ask. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the ultimate well-tempered father. In other words, when your father is 100%, is Avraham, you're able to the default option when a child asks a reasonable father, the default answer is yes, if I can do it for you or not. Unless there's a reason why it should be either no or not yet, according to the benefit of the child. So if you need something, whatever it is, the union that people will get from Mashiach, Mashiach will be totally clear, but the union people will get from Mashiach is that you should ask for everything and anything that you want, because you can get it through Dvar Hashem, through that tefillah. Mashiach will make it very clear. Everybody will realize that that's the first default option that you need for everything, is you should daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They'll know that derech hateva in b'mamash, everything is being done, everything happens, as the Rambam says, that the HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Asa, Oisa, V'yasa, L'chol HaMaisim. The Baruch Hu did, does, and will do everything that is done. Everything is the HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This is, being liked. That the בבחינת ותהי אסתר נויסת חן, בעיני הכל רואה, שכל אחד ואחד נדמה לקום עשוי. When Esther, the Gemara says that she was like pale. She was like a crocus. She wasn't that, glowing beauty, but she had a tremendous charm. So, yeah, they had a chen. Esther noises chen ben ekol. Everybody saw her, had a gewaltige affection for her. That each person, because she didn't say where she's coming from, from which nation she comes from in the very beginning, because Mordechai told her not to say. And so everybody thought, she's from my nation, French people were absolutely sure that she's French. The Yemenites are shooting the rockets, they were absolutely certain she's Yemenite. From Russia says, she's Russian, what are you talking about? I said, maybe I've seen her, in St. Petersburg. I saw her, I saw her. What's pshat? The pshat is that being that, can I have a tissue from there? Just one tissue, one. That's it. That's all I got. One of these marvelous things that Likutey Moharan, because the Torah Aleph Likutey Moharan, the first Torah in the first Chelek, says the Torah is by learning Torah is all the tefillas are received, and the chen v'chshivus amiti shel Yisrael nisal b'fi kol min shetzrichen, that the charm and the importance of Am Yisrael is being elevated by anyone who needs it, or that it's needed. The union is that being that Mashiach is Dvar Hashem, and everybody, and as we will see, not just the plants, but we'll see all the Malachim, all the Bria, they all receive from Dvar Hashem, from that person who reaches that level of tefillah of such a high quality. that they all receive from him. So they all, when somebody, benefits you, it's very natural to like that person, right? Somebody comes and helps you out. It's a gewaldige feeling, somebody helps you out, gives you something. I mean, you need to carry something, says, come, I'll help you. You need to clean the house, I'll help you. You need food, I'll bring you food. What else is it? Somebody, when somebody helps you out, it's a natural, feeling that you like them. Being that Esther she had that chen of Dvar Hashem, even if physically she didn't look like there were more beautiful girls than her, but nevertheless, everybody felt that when she was around, when she looked, that they felt self-worth. They felt that, wow, their chayas is being rejuvenated. I don't know if you ever had whenever it is that you are in the presence of somebody who is very chashuv, who's very important, and he looks at you and he singles you out, you feel like $1 million, right? It's because you get chayas from him, so you like him a lot. The Hagav, it's also works the other way. If anybody as a kid ever met a celebrity and the celebrity was rude to him at that time, that person will never forget it. He'll hit that guy with a vengeance, no matter what. Why? Because he took his chayas away. So being the Esther's B'chinas Dvar Hashem, B'chinas Moshiach, so everybody loved her. Everybody said to the point that, I mean, she's the one. She's my source. Everybody believed that she was from his nation, from his source. And what's his alluded to it, about Tefillah, that Baal Tefillah was B'chinas Dvar Hashem, who is a Shorish Elyon. That's the supernal root and source. Shekol HaKoiches V'chol Tzva Hashamayim Kula Mekabel Mimenu. All the forces that are active in the world, all the Tzva Hashamayim, which is all the Malachim, they all receive from him. That's why Kol Tzva Hashamayim, V'chol Asorim Elyonim. We're talking about the supernal ministry, but that, like the highest level there is. Each one figures, the Mashiach, the one who's holding Dvar Hashem, like, he's my type. They like him because they receive from him. Each person feels that each koyach, each malach, each minister, they all feel that Mashiach shines on them alone. Now we go full circle. All Torah was, you're supposed to reach Dvar Hashem, supposed to love each and every Jew, to connect this to the source of all Nishmas Yisrael. You get to such a level that a malachim can never push you off, because it says the person who has memshala and dominion over the angels are, are very envious. They're envious because they're Mekanah Dvar Hashem. There's a source of all the Yetzirah in the world. So we said you have to connect yourself to the source of Nishmas Yisrael. So, okay, but you connect yourself. How can you connect yourself to each and every Jew? You're not holding there. As we see from this Torah, that when Mashiach who is the one who is Zeichet to Tefillah on such high level, says each and every one feels that he's dealing with him personally. He's the only one that he's looking at. He's the only one that he cares about. Which means that Moshiach is the one who can connect to each and every Jew, and Mimela to each and every particle of the Bria. Like a one mano a mano, elbow to elbow, but anybody else, they cannot do that. That's what people don't like. Something they don't like something. So the Rebbe says that the shortcut is that you connect to the Gdolei Ador, the Manhig Ador. Then, so we mentioned the problem. Yeah, okay, but Manhig Ador, some of them are Manhig Ador legitimately because they're truly, they are this root of all the neshamas that are under them. And some are there because they're just very ambitious. As I said, Chaz v'Chalil says that they are Rishoyim. They're just, we say, that you want to connect to the root, you want to connect to the trunk of the tree of Nishmas Yisrael. If somebody is on of a stature that he is a Manig Yisrael, okay, but he's really just a private yid that is very ambitious, and so when you connect to him as a tzaddik, as a Manig, you think that you're connected to the trunk, but in truth, you're connected to another leaf. But it says it's very, very important to recognize who are the tzaddikim, that are the true tzaddikim, the true manhigim, and connect to them and love them and follow them, and who are the manhigim, zagazunt, everything should love them and everything else, but they're not manhigim, they're not leaders, their piece of their fame is rooted in falsehood. It's not chaz v'chalil that they are liars, but it's just it's they don't know. They figure they have a drive to lead, and it's a very human ambition. So how do you recognize them? So the whole Torah went until Dvar Hashem. Now you're holding Dvar Hashem, and you are the source of vitality to everybody and to everything. Everybody now receives from you, like privately. Okay. Now you can recognize all the famous ones, that their fame is because they're very ambitious and very fierce, very relentless, but not because they're tzaddikim. Why? Their ferocity, their boldness, their persistence, when they meet him, it falls off.
Is that Malcha below Taga?
Yeah, exactly.
Leadership.
Yeah. It's
through their boldness.
Yeah, they say it's a difference between a king and a ruler. A ruler, somebody who grabs the authority. A king is somebody who has a crown. But somebody who is very ambitious he's a ruler without a crown.
Didn't he make himself that?
Yeah. That's what I mean. He made himself. He doesn't have a crown.
How do the people they still agree to that?
They said though, because the thing is that people have the natural propensity to give over responsibility on their lives to somebody else. Because if you're responsible for yourself to make all your decisions, you don't know what to do. Many times, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that. Should I go to the doctor? Shouldn't I go to the doctor? Should I have an operation? Shouldn't have an operation? These are things that, people they feel uncomfortable. They feel unworthy or they don't have the wherewithal to make, a proper decision. And it's not just, when there is something extraordinary that happened in their lives. Hold on. Shkoyach, thank you. So it's not just, in time of emergency. That's bevadai. But on everyday basis, there's a lot of relief when somebody takes over. It's his responsibility, it's his headache. He's the one that laid down the law, and you follow him. Feels good. Because that indecision, what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? Am I doing right? Am I doing wrong? Maybe I'm going in the wrong direction.
Basically, they're listening to the wrong person.
Right.
He really doesn't have their interests.
Maybe if he has his or he thinks that you have their interest, whatever. But Lamaisa, he's not who they should be listening to. But the reason why they agree to it is because
they say that a person who can't even do for himself is making decisions.
He can't even fix himself. He has to fix others. But that's the problem with it. But here we're talking about you're supposed to connect to them, because by connecting them you receive dominion over the malachim. We're talking about achieving, the goal you were created for. It's not a small thing, okay. I really don't want to give over my, authority over my life, to some kind of a klubnik, somebody or nobody, that is just I don't like it. I want to just find, number one, somebody who's the real McCoy, him. I want to say anybody else, it's beneath. That's what we're not talking about that. We're talking about, getting to where you need to get in life. Like connecting to them, you're saving yourself from Yetzer Hara, and the Yetzer Hara, many times, Rabbeinu says, Sichas Haran, the hardest Yetzer Hara is when you don't know what to do. Rabbeinu says, when you know what to do, you could do the hardest things. That's why even simple people, in the time of Shmad, they refuse to din about the Zara also. That's Daf Yomi of Hanan Mishal in Azaria, the time of the Nebuchadnezzar. They were thrown to the pit of fire without even thinking. There was a time of Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar was such a scary thing, such a scary king. So nobody smiled during the time that he was alive. Can you imagine that? People wouldn't smile. Yeah, I mean, it's not just in his company they wouldn't smile. Nobody in generation smiled. He was a scary, scary dude. And he's putting this big golden statue. Everybody should down to it. It's his image. It says everybody should down to it. So they call Chanam Shor Nazariah. Says anybody who doesn't bow down to that statue is going to be thrown into this pit of fire. So they told him that when it comes to taxes and laws and this, you're the king, no problem. You want to teach us faith? Who we should bow down to, what we should do? They told him, you and a dog are equal. That's not a thing you want to tell Nebuchadnezzar in his face. They did, so they threw him into the pit. Which Baruch made the nest, and they came out. How dare they? How come they didn't say, don't really mean that? No, they just smacked his face. You got zero authority to tell us what to do when it comes to what we believe in. Go jump in the lake. How come? Because they were certain. When it comes to Ad Kedei Kach, they say that the Chachamim say that when a person dies of Kiddush Hashem, there's no suffering. There's no suffering. Because even suffering itself comes from a lack of certitude. When a person is so certain, is so one with the Kodesh Baruch Hu, that he turns into one living piece of Emunah. And he goes to Kiddush. The thing is that people love that indecision every single day. What should I do? Should I not do? Am I doing the right thing? I mean, my wife is putting me down. Should I answer? Shouldn't I answer? What should I do? Who's right? Who's wrong? Who's this? Who's that? If you only had somebody that you can come and ask, and he will say, he's right, she's wrong. No, she's right, he's wrong. Much more common, or whatever it is. Do this, do that. What you should do with your life. You wake up at this time in the morning. I want to see you in Besmedrish, 7 o'clock in the morning for davening. Okay? And you start from the beginning. And remember to say Kriyat Shema in the very beginning. The Kriyat Shema, the first Chelek Kriyat Shema before the Korbanos. I want you to say that. It's very important. It's a very great thing. And then you say Korbanos because people start from Hoido. That's wrong. Davening starts from the very beginning of the tefillah. But if you can't say the whole thing, it starts from Korbanos. And then you do this, and then you do that, and then I want you to do, and everything is, and I want everything to be regimented. When you have a child born, you call me, I'm going to be the Sunday. And then when the time comes, you take the child and put in the cheder with my name on it. And then I come and I test the children. I says, who's a good, and I give them a prizes, whatever it is. And then they grow up, whatever it is. And then they marry, with shidduchim from the same, all my people, but hey, you took 90% of the question marks in my life. It's a tremendous relief. It's a big, big, big Yetzer Hara. It comes out, there is Tov and Ra. The thing is that people have the capacity to do this because there is Moshiach. There is the Tzaddik Emes. There is somebody who you should listen to 100% and not deviate from what he tells you left or right. Because he's the only one who can see your life from the other side of having been there, done that. And he can guide you. Don't go this way, go that way. Don't go that way, go this way. So you can reach where you need to get. It's a huge thing. So the capacity to follow a leader blindly like that is it's inbred in us, because that's the tikkun of all humanity. What happens if you mistake it to somebody else? Then it becomes even easier. When you're listening to a tzaddik amiti, everything he tells you is difficult. Rabbeinu said, whatever it is I tell my people to do will be difficult for people to do. What's the big deal? You say 10 kapitlich to him every day. What's the big deal? It's difficult. It's not just a good thing. The entire reality of a person depends on it. Make 1 hour of his way to this. How difficult is that? It's very difficult. Why? Because the tzaddik said you should do it. Your entire reality depends on it. It's easier to spend 5 hours doing nothing than 10 minutes or 15 minutes doing his way to this. The minute you start doing it, that's already start. I'm sorry, I'm cooking. Then the others of these Mefarshim fall before him. When you have this tefillah, which is Var Hashem, which is the supernal roots, that all the supernal ministers in Tzva Shamayim, they all receive the koyach from him. So everybody is a lender. I mean, everybody is a borrower from him. Because we said, everybody is he's the big lender. The koyach, they borrow it from him, and at the end they have to pay it back. And everybody, the source of everything is the Kodesh Baruch Hu, of course, and it goes through the the person who has Dvar Hashem, or Zecher Tefillah B'Chinas Dvar Hashem, B'Chinas Moshiach. He is the one that everybody borrows from. All the angels and all the Galgalim and all the Koichovim, all the powers, all celestial powers, everything, the one gets from another, they're all borrowers from the chief lender, who is B'chinas Mashiach, B'chinas Dvar Hashem. So when they face him, all the bravado goes away. Chazal says, Chazaka, and other maze pon of Nebal Choyva, a person. At Kadikach, that a person does not defy, somebody that he owes money to. At Kadikach, and we have, and when somebody borrows money from someone, somebody is suing somebody, saying, I lent you money, you never pay me back. The halacha is, if he says, I never borrowed from you, he's patur. But if he says, I borrowed, but I paid you half, or some moedem mixus, he has to give a shvu, he has to swear that he already paid half and he doesn't owe the other half. What's going on here? He says, I never borrowed anything from you. He says, okay, you can go home. Unless, of course, there are witnesses. That's something else, or there's a shtar. But if there's no shtar, why don't we say, let him swear also? Why only when he says, yeah, I borrowed 100 shekels, but I paid you 50? Then he has to swear that the other 50, that he paid this other 50. The answer is, Chazaka and Odo Meiz Ponov Bifnei Baal Choyva. It's a chazaka, it's an accepted fact that the person doesn't have the audacity, to deny before somebody, totally denies debt for somebody who he owes money to. So what's the half? Half says, listen, he wants to quieten down his conscience. He wants to be kosher in everything. He wants to deny everything. He can't, Chazaka ein adam meis b'rifna bal choyvei. So his mother in half. He has to swear. He has shvua on him. It's, again, this is also something which is embedded in human nature. So being that everybody is borrowers, as it said, b'fchinas tzva shemaim l'chamish tachavim, and the armies of heaven, they bow down to you. It says, kol tzva shemaim, all the armies of heaven, all the sources of everything that happens, all the energies, all the mitzvahs in this world, they bow down, and they are, before their shorish, their root, which is Dvar Hashem, Baal Tefillah. How do we know? That that's because they bow down to the big lender because they owe him. How do we know? Tzva Shemayim L'Chamish Tachavim Al Pipshat means that the heavens bow down to Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's the order of things, that's the way things should be. How do we come to the conclusion? You know why they bow down? Because they are borrowers. Rabbeinu says, "Utzva Shemayim L'Chamish Tachavim Rosh Tevos Malve." Lender. All the Tzva Shemayim, all the armies of heaven, they bow down to who they owe. In other words, they're being nichna. They're all borrowers, one from another, one from another, one from another, all the way to the source. Until the big lender. About tefillah. That's about tefillah. When a person is zoche to such a madrega that he is about tefillah, it makes it so that factually, all the powers in the world are going through him. He can easily discern and tell who are the mefarsamim that are just through boldness, because they're borrowers from him. So they can be, they have this bravado before everybody else. But when they meet him, they become meek. Why? Because they owe him. He is the source of all the chayos, of all the vitality. And Adam is panuf nebal choiver. A person, a debtor, is not audacious before somebody, the person that he owes the money to. That's why their bravado, whatever it is, that falls down when they meet the Baal Tefillah. You can see that Moshe Rabbeinu called Dosan and Avira. He knew exactly who they were during the dispute of Korach. So he called them. Dosan and Avira, he called Moshe Rabbeinu, called them. They said, we're not coming. Why not? Say it to his face. No. Behind his back, they could talk to anybody. Yo, Moshe Rabbeinu, he's the one. He just wants to control everything. He wants to be the king of everything. He's this, is that, whatever. All these things they say, that's behind his back. But to say to his face, this they can't. Why? Because he is the Malva Godo. The old bar, all the chayas come from him. So they can't come. They says, Lo Nalad. They told him they're not coming. And kulam chines levi. This is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Moshe Rabbeinu, Ki matzah chen be'eina ve'edocha b'Shem. I liked you. You had charm in my eyes, and I knew you b'Shem, in a name. So Al Pipshat says HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I know you in a name. Then it's Chinasiyas chen. When you are zoichet to chen, when you are zoichet to Dvar Hashem, when you are zoichet to be the source of everything, that everybody is attracted to you. You have chen by everyone because they receive from you. The armies of heaven bow down to you. Everybody receives and borrows from him. This is why everybody loves him, everybody likes him, because he benefits everybody. He's everybody's benefactor. Everybody's borrowing from him. When you need a serious loan because you can't pay your rent, or you can't pay this, or you can't pay your mortgage, whatever it is, and so says, no problem, come, I'll give it to you. I mean, whoa, you like him a lot. Hopefully you pay him back too. There's called echad, so each one figures him to be his nation. This is for through this you will know who is actually what is called a Rebbe, Tzaddik. He really is that, or this is really a false name, a false moniker. You'll be able to recognize all the famous people, all those that have the brand name. You're able to recognize who is the real McCoy and who is there because he's ambitious, because in to hide, be healthy, no problem. But anybody that is famous, and his fame is derived from audacity, from boldness. He surrenders before him. He cannot show himself as and also I will know you b'shem. The B'chinas HaNefoshes. This is the B'china of Nishmas Yisrael. That's Nefesh Chaya U'Shmo. The name of every living being is his name. So we said Kaladei Amfilsomim, because when a person is connected to all the famous people who have a name, they're connected to every single Jew. Each one is B'china's name. It's all Lecha B'Shem. It's both talking about the famous people, though both about each and every single Jew that is there. This is when you're holding, all to kisa covered, the covered, which is the source of Nishmas Yisrael. The Hainu is Kasus Lashosha and Shomas Pinas Kisa covered, as we said before. Bezat Hashem, this actually concludes the first chalik of the Torah. I mean, that's the bulk of the Torah. Second chalik is much shorter. Second chalik, Rabbeinu speaks about, okay, now that you're there, now that you're already Zechet Dvar Hashem, now Rabbeinu speaks about Rosh Hashanah. That's and we'll talk about it in Yitzhak Hashem next week. But the one thing that is constant here is this union of tefillah and tefillah and tefillah and tefillah. And the Moshiach, which is Barichot B'Yiras Hashem, Moshiach will smell. Through smell, you will know exactly what each and every person did, what he didn't do, whatever it is. The tefillah by him will be totally open. It'll be, Rabbeinu says, Mashiach, days of Mashiach, making his way, this will be as natural as putting on film. People who are from people, they put film every day. They don't even think about it. In fact, if a person doesn't put film a day, he freaks out. You can't. How can you not put film? When it's like breathing. It's like right? Person cannot find this film. You freak out. How can you live without film? Tefillah is going to be like that. So how come Tefillah made it and Tefillah didn't make it? They're both the same source, Tefillah, Tefillah, right? Tefillah and Tefillah is Zishon Naftula Elokim Niftalti. Leah said when she gave birth to Naphtali. She says, Naftali, I like got connected, wrapped up with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. That's tefillah. Tefillah is dveikus. Tefillah is the way, the number one way. You cannot do it without Torah. But the main connection to Elokus, to living life with Hashem, is tefillah. What we need to understand, what we need to internalize, is not just to write down a slogan. Tefillah, Krum Zulus of Ne'odom. This is a tefillah that is holding by, that's the highest madrega there is, and people are, contemptuous towards it. To put out slogans is an easy thing. The hard thing is actually to put it into action. I mean, I talk about it for years and years and years and years. And I feel down like I don't want to tell you what. So what do you do then? What do you do? I'm not talking about when you talk the talk and you don't even want to walk the walk. I'm not talking about that. We're here, we're learning Likutey Moharan. I talk the talk and I want to walk the walk, but I can't. Sometimes I can hop a little here, I'll hop a little there. But Tachlis Lamaise, and this is where I am. What do I do now? That is what I need to learn. This is the thing that is relevant to my life, to where I am holding in my life. What do I do? How do I do it? How do you do when you can't do it? The answer is you get into the habit of asking Kodesh Baruch Hu for everything. everything. Things that you don't know that you absolutely need. You're suffering. It's good for me. It's not good for me. So you ask. Ask. Let, even the other things, even the things that I get, avodas Hashem, you should never be so insistent as if you're not giving Kodesh Baruch Hu any choice. Nothing like that. Talk to Kodesh Baruch Hu for asking for everything. You're at home, you need to go to shul. You don't feel like going to shul because it's raining. I'm going to get wet. Look at this right now. Leave me alone. Ask Kodesh Baruch Hu, take me to shul. Before you know, you'll be in shul. You need a parking space. You ask for parking space. You need money. You ask for money. Some things you'll get immediately. Some things you have to keep on asking until you get them. But the point is that it's not just that the tefillah is a means to an end, that I will get whatever it is that I want. Nowadays, it's like that. But you can look at it the other way around. All the things that you need are a means to an end that you're able to daven from. Because that makes you a davener, a mispaler, a mevakish. You see, you have the highest story of Sipur Maisis is Maisis from the 7 beggars. A beggar is a kapitzonim. You beg. To be a beggar, B'kedusha, is the highest madrega that there is. It's not just something that you do. It's something that you are. You beg a Kodesh Baruch Hu means that the stature of Kodesh Baruch Hu in you is totally clear to you. Kodesh Baruch Hu is everything. And I beg and I get from him. All the chesronos, everything that I lack in my life, is in order I should be able to daven from him. A tremendous mishpat in Sefer Bereshis. It says, Arizal talks about this. He says, and before Bris Olam, they say, and the Esav Asad Terem Tzmiach, and the plants of the field did not grow yet. Adam, there's no human being to till the land. Because it didn't rain yet, because there's no person to till the land. Rashi says there's no man to daven for rain. Davening is there, to be moitzin the bria mikoyach alapal. And the bria is there in order for you to daven. You should ask that you shouldn't cough. You should feel good. We should ask for you because we are your friends. And you should ask for yourself. That's the thing. And this Torah speaks about the full, and you should have a full shleima. Everybody should have. Not Hashem. L'maisa, that's what Rabbeinu says. That the reason there's such machloikus on him. He says, Ema istenuni, they all hate me, v'ani tefillah. Because my whole thing is, David Melech says, my entire inyan is tefillah. If you propagate the chashivas of tefillah, people that love, that listen to you will love you. People that, come on, don't make me feel guilty. They'll hate you. That's why David Melech had so many enemies. That's Moshiach Emes, the Tzaddik Emes, Emaistanoni Tefillah. Look, we are living our life now. Anybody who watches this will be like, duh. I'm watching you. Obviously, I'm living my life now. What are you talking about? What's the big deal? No. What's happening with me now is not a preamblum to the show. It's not the grand rehearsal before the show. That's the show. Our lives, that's the show. What you're going through now, that's the show. Every single word that you are able to say before HaKadosh Baruch Hu, every single dvater that you learn, is that tzlocha nitzchus. It's an eternal success. Baruch Hashem. God should help that each and every one of us, first of all, should be healthy, feel good, and many, many people, for Shlema. I should have actually have a nusach that Rav Teichner told me, should bring it, and I should do a mishaberach at the end of the of learning every week. Everybody that needs it. That Hashem should have a good Shabbos with Parshas Parah, right? Parshas Parah. That Hashem, that's the have a good Shabbos. Shall be Zochim with Hashem. We'll see how much we still have here.